G'day guys, what's cracking? It's Ralph here, and today I have for you the NearStream VM20. It's a live streaming 4K camera with a 10 times optical zoom, a 4 times digital zoom, and it is the go-to if you're live streaming. So let's have a look inside the box. There's 4 items inside the box. There's an instruction manual that you will need unless you watch this video all the way through to the end. There is the camera itself. There is a remote control. The camera will not work if you don't have the remote control. Do not lose the remote control, otherwise you'll be super frustrated because it's just a big lump of metal. It's quite expensive. Actually, it's not too costly, by the way. Here's the price. It's actually quite competitive. Then we have a USB to USB-C cable. Here is the unit. Now, it has 8 noise-cancelling microphones right on top, so it can absorb sound and ambient noise into the unit right where you are. So if you've got it in the studio, you can just use the mic, or you have a mic output jack here that you can plug an external microphone into so it can pick up sound from even if you're a long way away. Plug my DJI audio into the back here. Zari, say a couple of words.
Hi, testing. I'm Zari.
You have a USB-C up here, which is primarily for power, and you can just get a portable power source like this one I use from Newer. It's a ripper. Like, here's a video for it, just so good. We have a Ethernet cable, so you can plug your cable in there. This is the way you link it to other cameras. So this can work in conjunction with other cameras. Then you have your USB-C where you plug into your computer, and then we have a HDMI output there. So you're all good to go. Lenses on the front, and this little button is an indicator button that indicates that you've turned it on. I did tell you it needed external power, didn't I? So we're live. It's got a quarter 20 on the bottom. Then plug this Manfrotto tripod into it, and I can position it any way I like. So you can actually power the camera using the plug into your computer. So your computer actually powers the camera. You don't need an external source, but you can use it if that's help. Now let's just can we zoom back a bit? So you've got a zoom button on the left, which is more aggressive, and then you have a zoom button on the right, which is more subtle and just leads you into the shot. That's clever, right? I like that. So you can get your giddy up on with your 10 time optical zoom, or you can just go home and it resets everything. Oh, good job. You have to run it through Firefox. There's links in with your YouTube channel, and that enables the live streaming of this, which your camera, you just select NearStream and boom, Bob's your uncle. It comes up just like it has. You can put it on a tripod, but once it's stationary, it stays there. So you can't actually then have it swivel or change direction. So it is set up, but I imagine this would be ideal in a really large room where you have a sense of you're in a conference or maybe in a church service, and you want to zoom to the other end and capture the person, and you can zoom in. So it has this zoom in on this, and so when you click home, it just goes back to normal. It's got an AI option. Oh, and if I click AI, it zooms right into my head, so it works out where my head is. Looking at the remote control, we have a sound on and a sound off, and a video on and a video off. So you can turn the video off, but it still keeps the live stream, and probably can hear me still, and then I can turn the video back on. If I go like this, so my direction buttons, I can move and access the different cropped parts of the image. If I go home, it should pump it back out. AI is automatic framing. So if I click AI, it's going to automatically frame me where it thinks is best. Frame. I think it's best already. But if I'm a long way away, it just wants to zoom in, you can go AI, and it's just going to take matters into its own hands rather than you zooming in with the magnifying or zooming out with the magnifying. So then I've got 3 presets I can preset this all to, and I have 5 devices that I can use those 3 presets on. Now that's pretty cool. I can have a different angle with different settings on a different camera, and I can just go to that rather than just to this. And I can change that other camera by clicking this. That's kind of handy. And then if I'm out of focus, short auto, look at that. Does that focus me? What if I go? What if I go? Is that autofocus? Well, you have to tell me how effective that is. So I can bring up a menu on the screen that you can't see. It says images, network, setting, and device info. And then this is my screen, so looking at the screen, right? And then if I press the menu button, it comes up and I can change things about the image. So I go click and I can change the brightness. This is parameters lock, so I'm going to unlock it with the unlock button. So if I go down to HDR, let's just do that. HDR is high dynamic range, and I should be able to turn that on. Oh, come on. Oh, I like it. So HDR works a treat. Let's turn the saturation back up. Yes, HDR, winning king. All right, that's much better, isn't it? And I can even turn up the brightness. There we go. I'm looking good again. Looking good again. You can flip it vertically. You can flip it horizontally. If I get out of this, just going to go here. I can choose my network and I can look at my network. Let's go to setting. And then device info. You'll notice on the front of the unit is an LED indicator light. This tells you what it's doing. So if you mute the audio, this will tell you. If you mute the video, this will tell you, so you can have a real-time update of what the camera's actually doing as you control it with a remote control. The device management software that you would use is NearSync. You can download that from the internet, and then you can use it to upgrade the firmware of the camera, but you can also do some editing in that. So you can flip the image vertically or horizontally depending on your needs. So you can mount the camera upside down, for example. You can change the colors and all the color grading of that. You can choose the mode if you want, which is also this little picture on the remote control. As well as that, you can change the auto framing, which is the AI button that we've played with a little bit. It's not always with the best results, mind you. And you can turn the autofocus on and off, as well as a number of other things. So you have a basic overview in NearSync of the settings that you can control also more in-depthly with the remote control displayed on your screen while it's live streaming. Let me just give you a brief overview of the remote control. That's where you kill the video and kill the audio, and you press that on to bring it back, and you press that on to bring it back. If you short press this, it can give you image mirroring, and if you long press this, it gives you subtitle mirroring. This is the lock button, so you short press this to lock the parameters that you have in, or you long press it to unlock the parameters that you have set in. So if you find out nothing's working, try long pressing that. You can control the framing of your shot with these buttons, as you've seen on this video, and OK affirms that. This is the get out of jail free card. If you've gone too far into your settings and you need to back out, that's what you do there. AI is auto framing, and auto framing, as you've seen, is a bit of hit and miss, and this is how you access the settings and device information whilst you're live streaming. These are the aggressive zoom and the passive zoom and home resets to where you want to go. This is your mode button, this is your autofocus button, and this is your white balance button, which is just has some, well, it's not the most effective option, let's put it that way. And our preset buttons are focused on if you have a framed shot, you might have a wide shot, a pushed in shot, and then a medium shot, and you can just set them up by long pressing them on the shot that you have. You might just want a different color grade, for example, on these different things. And you can do that by then locking it in, and then when you're actually live streaming, you can press that and it'll automatically punch in to that shot that you're after. And on the Mac, 2 AAA batteries. Let's just jump to the quality of this for a sec. And I'm going to zoom in as far as I can on me. Okay, wow, that is scary as heck. Now I'm going to go autofocus. That can zoom in so far. So if the room's huge, you can zoom in that far. You can plug a sound desk into the back and you can have a really easy live stream. And then if I just want to gently pull it back, I just go on the right hand side, magnifying glass reduction, or if I want to do it crazy fast, I can just pull it out there. And what we need to do now is go to a bigger room and just see what this is like, I reckon. This is how we would set up for an auditorium. It's the church I go to. We're about 15 meters away from where Zari, my daughter, is standing and where the camera is. So we're going to hit autofocus, and now we're going to hit AI. AI pulls it right back. Now let's zoom in and see how close we can get. And as we zoom in, we can actually change. We can go up and down. We can frame the shot however we want to frame the shot. If I go AI, that's what happens. Not sure about that. Oh, that's better. And then let's go auto, that's better. And then let's go autofocus. Look up. So we should be autofocus on that. The AI is repositioned. Now I'd like you to say something.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
AI jump around. Now, as Zari moves, watch the AI jump around just a little to your left. Just move to your left a little.
Oh.
As you can see, the AI takes a little bit to keep up. That's interesting. That's the scope at which it can scroll to the side about. And we would need to change the white balance to accommodate this. But I'm having a little bit of difficulty actually zooming in precisely and framing Zari by myself. There are limitations. Scroll down, and it only goes down as far. See, I'm going down, and it won't go down further, but I know if I press home and come straight back out, the bottom of the frame is right down. So there are certain limitations that you are bound to with the recropping, and I'm not sure if that's because AI is turned on and I can't turn it off, but you see how the color dropped. Yeah, so I need to go, I'm trying to go down, but it won't go down. So I can choose different modes here, as you can see. That just changes what that looks like. And I can also go into the settings. Actually change the white balance from the remote control. So this is auto white balance, and I can turn that on and off. We're just going to zoom in on you as far as we can, or as close as we can.
Don't zoom into me.
Go AI, and zoom in. So if we use AI, we can't zoom in, but if I take AI off, again, I'm limited to within a certain frame of reference. But look at the crazy closeness I can get in, closeness I can get in. That is 15 meters away. That's autofocus. I press autofocus. So that gives you a really good feel. That's probably tapped into the digital zoom rather than the optical zoom, and therefore we can see just a slight lack of detail because it's zoomed in so far. So I recommend that you'd want to film at around 15 to 20 meters before you started seeing some of the frustrations that this unit will provide. So the remote control range is 10 meters from the camera. So if you're shooting at more than 10 meters, you can't use the remote control to affect the camera if you're the subject trying to be focused on at more than 10 meters. Now, some concluding thoughts about the VM20 from NearStream. First of all, very easy to set up, very straightforward. And the remote, once you get your head around it, can all be done via the camera in this. You don't need any extra software and any of that. It's available and there for you if you need it, but you can just go straight into your streaming platform and use it straight away with simply plugging it in. There's a few options here.
Use the back USB-C plug here for extra power, which one camera can be powered by your computer, but if you want multiple cameras, that's how you power the other cameras.
If you lose the control, you're really in trouble. If you're shooting in a darker space, you'll struggle with the quality. However, you saw that when we click on the HDR, it has a dramatic effect on improving the quality of what you see. So you have some options on your settings in your menu to make this actually look as good as you like. The zoom is insane. So you would use this and you would have this if you're at a conference. I was recently asked to do a live stream for a brand launch of a law firm. And when I did that, I had to use my mirrorless and it plugged into an adapter that then plugged in. So it was just a challenge. With this, heaps more control. Could switch, if it was a big frame, I could switch between different people. So I really like that. I could zoom in on people if I wanted to get the detail of that, whereas you can with the mirrorless, but you're stuck depending on what lens you have. And this enables you to shoot really wide and then zoom in. But you do need to be careful that you might jeopardize some of the quality, especially when it zooms in.
The other interesting thing with this camera is when you are live streaming and you auto focus correct it, there is a crackle in the audio.
What if I go without autofocus?
So really important to keep that in mind when you're live streaming.
But you just need to keep them in the back of your mind. You also need, with all live streaming cameras, a really good internet connection. So if you don't have a good internet connection, yeah, that's not a good combo. So make sure you have a good internet connection. What do you think of the NearStream VM20? I've been impressed. It's a handy little camera. It doesn't weigh much at all, and it has a 1/4 20 on the bottom with a nice finish everywhere.
Beautiful, nice lens. It's a really nice little unit, very interesting and fascinating to use, and ideal if you're going to live stream anything. Hope this review's been helpful, and I'll see you in the next one after you like and subscribe. Bye. Woo. All right, let's get fired up. Ooh. Yeah, about that. What's out of the shot? Rock and roll. Let's go NearStream VM20. Giddy up, Gary. Okay, some takeaways from the let's go to now some takeaway. Now some concluding thoughts. Thanks for watching my my live. If you dared to watch it, only the brave. Only the brave. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna end it now.